A reading from the version of the world of Hermes Mercurius Trismegistus, a translation of the Hermetica by Anna Kingsford and Edward Maitland, 1884. Art thou not aware, O Asclepius, that Egypt is the image of heaven, or rather, that it is the projection below of the order of things above? If the truth must be told, this land is indeed the temple of the world. Nevertheless, since sages ought to foresee all things, there is one thing thou must know. A time will come when it will seem that the Egyptians have adored the gods so piously in vain, and that all their holy invocations have been barren and unheeded. Divinity will quit the earth and return to heaven, forsaking Egypt, its ancient abode, and leaving the land widowed of religion and bereft of the presence of the gods. Strangers will fill the earth, and not only will sacred things be neglected, but more dreadful still, religion, piety, and the adoration of the gods will be forbidden and punished by the laws. Then this earth, hallowed by so many shrines and temples, will be filled with sepulchres and with the dead. O Egypt, Egypt, there will remain of thy religions only vague legends which posterity will refuse to believe. Only words graven upon stones will witness to thy devotion. The Scythian, the Indian, or some other neighbouring barbarian will possess Egypt. Divinity will return to heaven. Humanity, thus abandoned, will wholly perish, and Egypt will be left deserted, forsaken of men and of gods. To thee I cry, O most sacred river. To thee I announce the coming doom. Waves of blood, polluting thy divine waters, shall overflow thy banks. The number of the dead shall surpass that of the living. And if indeed a few inhabitants of the land remain, Egyptians by speech, they will in manners be aliens. Thou weepest, O Asclepius, but yet sadder things than these will come to pass. Egypt will fall into apostasy, the worst of all evils. Egypt, once the holy land, beloved of the gods, and full of devotion for their worship, will become the instrument of perversion, the school of impiety, the type of all violence. Then, filled with disgust for everything, man will no longer feel either admiration or love for the world. He will turn away from this beautiful work, the most perfect alike in the present, the past, and the future. Nor will the languor and weariness of souls permit anything to remain save disdain of the whole universe. This immutable work of God, this glorious and perfect edifice, this manifold synthesis of forms and images, wherein the will of the Lord, lavish of marvels, has united all things in harmonious and single whole, worthy for ever of veneration, of praise and love. Then darkness will be preferred to light, and death will be deemed better than life, nor will any man lift his eyes to heaven. In those days the religious man will be thought mad, the impious man will be hailed as a sage, savage men will be deemed valiant, the evil-hearted will be applauded as the best of men. The soul, and all that belongs thereto, whether born mortal or able to attain eternal life, all those things which I have herein expounded to thee, will be but matters for ridicule, and will be esteemed foolishness. There will even be peril of death, believe me, for those who remain faithful to religion and intelligence. New rites will be instituted, new laws, nor will there be left one holy word, one sacred belief, religious and worthy of heaven and of celestial things. O lamentable separation between the gods and men! Then there will remain only evil demons who will mingle themselves with the miserable human race. Their hand will be upon it, impelling to all kinds of wicked enterprise, to war, to rapine, to falsehood, to everything contrary to the nature of the soul. The earth will no longer be in equilibrium. The sea will no longer be navigable. In the heavens, the regular course of the stars will be troubled. Every holy voice will be condemned to silence. The fruits of the earth will become corrupt, and she will no more be fertile. The very air will sink into lugubrious torpor. Such will be the old age of the world, irreligion and disorder, lawlessness and the confusion of good men. When all these things shall be accomplished, O Asclepius, then the Lord and Father, the sovereign God, who rules the wide world, beholding the evil ways and actions of men, will arrest these misfortunes by the exercise of his divine will and goodness. And, in order to put an end to error and to the general corruption, he will drown the world with a deluge, or consume it by fire, or destroy it by wars and epidemics, and thereafter he will restore it to its primitive beauty, so that once more it shall appear worthy of admiration and worship, and again a chorus of praise and of blessing shall celebrate him who has created and redeemed so beautiful a work. This rebirth of the world, this restoration of all good things, this holy and sacred rehabilitation of nature will take place when the time shall come which is appointed by the divine and ever-eternal will of God, without beginning and always the same.